You know what I realized, Leo? Most English learners say, I like music. And every single time an American hears that, they think one thing.
What?
They think, okay, you like music. So does every human being on earth.
Wait, that's harsh, but true. I mean, who doesn't like music?
Exactly. That's the problem. When you say I like music, you're saying nothing. It's like saying I like air. Of course you do. Everyone does.
Oh, wow, I've said that so many times.
We all have. But here's the thing, music in America isn't just a thing you like. It's identity, it's personality. It's how you tell someone who you are without saying a single word about yourself.
Okay, I need to hear more. Let's do it.
Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
So today we're talking about music culture in America, and not just how Americans talk about music, but why they talk about it the way they do. Because the language is different when you understand the culture behind it.
That's the part I always miss. I learn vocabulary words, but I don't understand why Americans react a certain way when I say something.
Right. So let's start with three concepts that define American music culture. Ready?
Ready.
Concept 1, playlist culture. Concept 2, vinyl and physical media. Concept 3, genre loyalty.
Okay, I've heard all these words, but I don't really understand how they connect to conversation.
Let me explain playlist culture first. In America, people create playlists for everything, not just music, playlists for moods, for seasons, for activities.
Like a playlist for working out?
Exactly. But also a playlist for driving at night, a playlist for rainy Sundays, a playlist for cooking dinner, a playlist for when you're sad but you want to stay sad.
Ha! Wait, a playlist for staying sad? That's very specific.
It's called a sad girl playlist or just sad vibes. And when Americans ask each other what's on your playlist, they're not asking for a list of songs. They're asking, what's your life right now?
Oh, that's deeper than I thought.
It really is. So when someone says, send me your playlist, they're asking you to share a piece of your identity. So in conversation, you can say things like, I've got a road trip playlist ready to go. Or my cooking playlist is my favorite.
So instead of saying I like music, I could say I've been building a morning playlist lately.
Perfect. That gives the other person so much more to work with. They can ask, oh, what's on it? Or what vibe are you going for?
That's so much better. That's a real conversation.
Now, concept 2, vinyl and physical media. This one surprises a lot of international learners. You might think Americans only stream music, right?
Yeah, I thought streaming is everything now.
It is for most people. But there's a whole subculture of people who collect vinyl records. And it's not just old people.
Really? Young people too?
Young people especially. In America, owning vinyl records is a statement. It says, I care about music enough to own it physically. It says, I value the experience of listening to an album from start to finish.
So it's not just about the music itself.
Exactly. It's about the ritual. The act of putting the record on the turntable, sitting down, listening to the whole album. When someone in America has a vinyl collection, that's a conversation starter.
So what do you say?
You can say, I just started collecting vinyl. Or I found this record at a flea market and it sounds incredible.
Flea market meaning like a street market where people sell used things?
Yes, exactly, a flea market. And when you say I found this record, that word found is important. It makes it sound like a treasure hunt.
So even if I don't collect vinyl, I could still talk about it to connect with someone who does.
Absolutely. In fact, if you want to impress an American music lover, you can ask them, do you collect anything physical? Or do you just stream?
That's a good question.
And then you listen, because they will tell you their whole music philosophy.
Now concept 3, genre loyalty. This sounds serious.
It is. In America, people are very loyal to genres, and I mean very loyal.
Loyal like they fight over it?
Sometimes, yes. Not physically, but people identify strongly with a genre. Someone might say, I'm a rock person, or I'm a hip hop person, or I'm a country person. And that tells you a lot about who they are.
But what if someone likes all types of music?
That's fine too. But even then, they usually have one genre that feels like home, one genre that they come back to.
So, in conversation, instead of saying I like all music, which I say all the time,
Which is basically I like music in a different form.
ouch. Okay, so what should I say?
Say, my go to genre is, or I always come back to, or I'm a person at heart.
Okay, let me practice. My go to genre is hip hop. I always come back to hip hop.
Perfect. Now imagine you're at a party and someone asks what music you're into. Instead of saying, I like music, you say, I'm a hip hop person at heart, but I've been getting into indie folk lately.
That sounds so natural.
It does. And you know why? Because it gives the other person something to respond to. They can say, oh, who's your favorite hip hop artist? Or what indie folk are you listening to?
I've been saying it wrong this whole time. I always just said I like music and the conversation would die.
Right, because there's nowhere to go with that. So let's talk about the phrases that will actually make you sound natural when talking about music.
Yes, teach me.
First phrase, I'm really into. This is probably the most natural way to say you like something in English.
I've heard that. I'm really into jazz lately.
Yes, and the word lately is powerful because it suggests your taste is evolving. Americans love that. It makes you sound interesting.
Second phrase.
I've been listening to a lot of, this is even more natural than I like. For example, I've been listening to a lot of indie rock this month.
So the focus is on what you're currently doing, not just what you like.
Exactly. And the third phrase, and this one is really powerful, I live for,
Wait, I live for, like, that's a strong statement.
it is. I live for live music. I live for discovering new artists. I live for 90s R&B. When you say this, you're saying this music is essential to your life.
That's very emotional.
And Americans respond to emotion. When you say, I live for something, people feel your passion. It invites connection.
Okay, let me try all three. I'm really into jazz. I've been listening to a lot of old school classics. I live for live saxophone.
That last one, I live for live saxophone, that's a tongue twister. But yes, perfect. Now here's the thing most learners don't know.
What?
When you talk about music in America, you need to be specific, but not too specific.
What does that mean?
If you say I like jazz, that's too broad. But if you say I'm really into 1950s hard bop, that's too specific, unless you're talking to a jazz expert.
So what's the sweet spot?
A specific genre and a specific era. I'm really into 80s synth pop. I've been listening to a lot of 70s folk rock. Or a specific artist. I've been listening to a lot of Billie Eilish lately.
So genre plus time period, or genre plus artist.
Exactly. That's enough to sound informed without sounding like a music snob.
Okay, so now I know the phrases. But what about the common mistakes? Because I know I make some.
Let's talk about them. Mistake number 1, overusing the word like. I like music. I like songs. I like everything.
Guilty.
Everyone is. But the problem isn't the word like. The problem is that like is a weak verb in English. It doesn't show passion. It doesn't show personality.
So what should I use instead?
Love, adore, am obsessed with, am crazy about. I love live concerts. I'm obsessed with this new album. I'm crazy about 90s grunge.
Those feel stronger, more American.
They feel more human. Mistake number 2, saying I like all music or I'm open to everything.
But that's true. I do like many types.
I know, but here's how Americans hear it. I'm not passionate enough about anything to have a preference.
Ooh,
I know, it sounds harsh, but if you say I like all music, people think you haven't explored music deeply. The better way is to say I listen to a wide range, but my heart is in hip hop.
okay, so show a preference even if you like many things.
Exactly. Mistake number 3, not knowing how to use playlist in conversation.
I think I only know playlist as a noun.
That's normal. But Americans also use playlist as a verb now. I playlisted this song for my drive tomorrow. It's very informal but very common.
Wait, playlisted is a word?
In everyday conversation, yes. I playlisted a bunch of new songs. Or, can you playlist some songs for the party?
I've never heard that in my English classes.
Because textbooks are slow. By the time they add a word, the culture has moved on.
Now, Maya, I have to ask, what about the word native itself? I've met learners who call themselves native speakers of English, but they learned it in school.
That's a different conversation. But quickly, native speaker usually means someone who grew up speaking the language from birth. It's not about how good you are, it's about when you started.
Okay, good to know. I won't call myself a native speaker.
You can call yourself a fluent speaker, a confident speaker, a natural communicator. All of those are true.
Let's get back to music because I want to practice more.
Let's do a practice round. I'll be an American at a party. You respond naturally.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hey Leo, what kind of music are you into?
I'm really into hip hop. I've been listening to a lot of 90s classics lately.
Nice. Who's your favorite?
I'm a huge fan of Tupac, but I also live for discovering new underground artists.
That's perfect. The butt is great, it shows range. Now try this. Tell me about a playlist you've made recently.
I just made a road trip playlist for my weekend drive. It's a mix of old school hip hop and some chill indie.
Oh, send me that playlist. I want to hear it.
Now I have to actually make it.
Haha, make one and use playlist as a verb. I'm going to playlist some songs for you.
I'm going to playlist some songs for you. That feels strange but natural.
It'll feel natural after you say it a few times, so let me share one more cultural insight before we wrap up.
Please.
In America, if you visit someone's home and they have a record player and vinyl, don't touch the records without asking.
Really?
Really, vinyl collectors are protective. It's like touching someone's bookshelf without permission.
So I should ask first.
You can say, "Do you mind if I look through your collection?" That shows respect, and they'll love that you asked.
Good tip. I would have just started flipping through. Okay, Maya. So today's lesson, what's the one thing I should remember?
Never say I like music. Instead, say what you're into. Say what you've been listening to lately. Say what you live for.
I live for discovering new music. That's my sentence.
Perfect. That one sentence tells someone so much about you. It says you're curious. It says music matters to you. It opens a door.
This is exactly why I love this podcast. It's not just vocabulary, it's how to be a person in English.
That's the whole goal. Because language isn't about words, language is about connection.
And speaking like a native isn't about perfect grammar, it's about sounding like a real human being.
Exactly. Thanks for learning with us today. If this helped you, share it with a friend who loves music and wants to sound more natural in English.
And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an episode.
We'll see you in the next one. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep living for what you love.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.